Welcome to episode 3 with Chats with Colleen. I'm here with Sean, who is also our lovely producer of the show. So we are here to talk about current events in my life and in your life.
Yes.
So it's been an exciting couple weeks since we last met, and I've had some crazy stuff happen to me, of course. So with that being said, a couple months ago, I got a speeding ticket.
You did get a speeding ticket.
And I was going 50 in a 35. Please forgive me. The cop was, very nice about it. And, I was speeding.
Yeah.
I was. There's not too much I can say.
But you were only going like 10 miles over.
Well, 15, I guess.
50, okay.
I mean, normally I always thought you could go 10 over.
Wait, and just like put it in perspective, what did he clock you at?
He said he clocked me at 50.
And what was the speed limit? 35?
35.
It was 35. So it
and
was like
I thought it was 45 because it's
Yeah.
like a road that's got businesses on
Yeah.
it. So, but it has a golf course. I can't even see the golf course from there, but I guess they have a lot of people that speed down there.
Yeah.
80 miles an hour. Well, it was only really going 50.
Yeah.
But so I paid the ticket, took the course. We did it. The day after I took the course, which was this past Monday, I took the course, sent the stuff in. Driving to work, got my little coffee. I'm going 36. 36. Well, I believed it was 35.
Okay.
But around the curve, it's 25. So a cop, I see him in his SUV. I said, oh my God. So I look, I'm like, oh, 36. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. Did your car tell you 36?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
My car said 36.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, great. So then he gets behind me. I'm like, oh, my God. But he doesn't pull me over for about a quarter of a mile. Then he decides to pull me over. I looked, I'm going 33. So I said, sir, I'm going 33.
Yeah.
Why are you pulling me over? You were going 36 back there. It's 25. Well, you got to put more signs. I'm like, whatever. Gave him my license. Do you have insurance? Of course I have insurance. Do you own this car? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
you
do own it. I have the title, actually.
You do have the title.
Which I just got it in the mail.
Yeah.
And okay,
You do
so then
the
he comes
title.
back, well, I'll go back while you look for your insurance. I'm like, it's on the phone, on the app. So then he comes back and he's like, I'm going to give you his ticket. I'm like, I just took the course. Could you just give me a warning? Because you need to put more signs. It's 25. I mean, if you just press the gas, it's hard to go 25.
Of course.
So now, after 2 incidences, I learned my lesson.
Within a year, unfortunately.
Within 2 months.
Yeah. Within
I'm not going down that road anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the other way where I can go on either the highway or a different road.
Yeah.
And I've also bought a radar detector the same day. I don't know how to install it. It's in my car, but I bought it.
But you're ready.
I'm ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready to go. And I'm not driving carelessly.
You're not driving carelessly at all. It's true.
So it was just my mistake. And they sit there and they wait for you. But it's okay.
You know what I said all the time? It's like entrapment. Like they are actually looking to trap you. It's like speed traps. The last ticket I got, I was actually in a company vehicle, and funny enough, I was just going like I think it was a 35, and I was going like 50. It's similar to I guess what you were doing.
Speed.
And it was so funny because it felt comfortable. I didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, it was a speed trap. It was literally a cop just like standing on the side of the road, just flagging people down. And I think he had flagged me and like 4
Oh,
other
I've had that where they
people.
point at you.
And they just point at you and they're like, get off the road.
I'm like,
are you
what?
serious? Like, I'm literally going like, I think I was going 15.
Right.
over.
I'm driving
like,
safe.
this
I have
is
my
insane.
seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I've got my hands on, where they're supposed to
Like,
be on
what
the
more
steering
do you
wheel. And I'm going
want?
33. And he's like arguing with me. I'm
It
like,
wasn't,
whoa.
It wasn't a school zone or anything.
Exactly. No
Yeah.
school, no houses.
No.
But then Friday I left later from work and I drove that way. But I'm like, I'm going to go 20.
Yeah.
Because you can't pull me. Well, I guess they could pull you over if you're going too slow. But I was going really slow. And then I saw cops. They're waiting. I'm like, gotta be kidding. They're out on a Friday night waiting. And then it was like 3 SUV cops pulled somebody over in the Winn-Dixie parking lot.
Oh my God, that's insane.
I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
But I just felt like he trailed me for a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
Like, were you debating it?
Like, what were you thinking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Why did you drive? But, we're just going to pay it.
That's all you can do. That's all.
And I can't take the course because I just did it.
Because unfortunately, yes, it's like 1 per year.
So the learning experiences, just don't be in a hurry.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really even in a hurry.
No, you weren't. And for those who don't know, in the state of Florida, and I learned this, unfortunately, the hard way as well. you get, and if you don't want to get the points on your license, like you have 5 tests in your lifetime that you're allowed to take, and you cannot take more than 1 in a single year. And that's like unfortunate for you, because you were like, I got so not lucky. You could say it's lucky, but I think I missed, mine was a year apart, my last 2 tickets, and I was like maybe 2 months outside of that year window, and so I was able to take the course again.
So I gotta wait a whole year. So I'm just gonna not speed.
Yeah.
Do my best to stay 25
Well, how many
miles.
tests have you taken?
Well, I just did the one. Maybe I've done it 2 or 3 other times.
Oh, so you might be at the end.
I might be getting close to the max.
You might be. Oh no.
Yeah, so I can't. That's why I got to just slow it down.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's okay.
Get a driver.
No, but that is the next thing for you. You know what? And there's a tip I've learned in those like slower, I guess slow speed areas. If you use and your car has, I know for a fact, the adaptive cruise control.
Yeah, that's why I got to learn how to do it.
Just
put
set
it
it
on
to 35, and then
that's 25. I don't even know if you can set it to 25.
You can with your car. You can set it as low as like 5 miles an hour, and just let it take over.
Okay.
And just hold the wheel. Like, it's frustrating, but it'll keep you from
Jesus take the
having-
wheel. Let's
Jesus
go.
Alexis, take the wheel.
Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, that was an unfortunate part of your week. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, but I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to deal with it and learn
all you
and
can
teach other
do.
people.
Yeah.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, of course.
The same things that happen to you happen to me.
That is actually so
Just because I work in insurance doesn't mean I'm immune to it. I have all the crazy stuff happen.
You.
And then we had my mom's celebration of life a couple weeks ago, and it was really great. And then we had people in town from out of state, and we went out to eat one night. And so I came from work, and it was near Walgreens. So I was like, oh, instead of going through, there's no cut through. I parked in the Walgreens and then walked through. Well, there's not really a walkway because you're not supposed to do it. You're not supposed to park and walk through like a shrub area. So I walked. It's dark, kind of misty and raining. Well, all of a sudden, my knees fell, my knees bent, and I landed flat on my knees off the curb. I don't know what happened. In the split of like 0.millisecond, I'm down, and I'm like, oh, what the heck happened? So I'm like rubbing my knees, stand up, and this lady's like from way across the parking lot, are you okay? I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm just wiping my shoes off. But actually, I was like, that hurt. My knees hurt.
Yeah.
So I went in the restaurant, and I was like, I just fell out there. And my sister was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, my knees. But luckily, it's from all the exercising that I do, how we do these classes. And they're like, we're going to teach you to be limber, how you bend down and pick stuff up, because things happen. You may fall. I mean, I got right back up. It's like I bounced up. So I feel like that was good. But then I went back and looked. It's not well lit. The curb isn't painted. There's
in the
roots.
parking lot you fell in.
Yeah, but that was my fault, because you're not supposed to walk through there.
Through the bushes.
Yeah. There's no walkway. It's private parking. There's 2 businesses on each side. But, in the state we live in, there's so many lawsuits. And I'm like, if it wasn't me, somebody would be like, I fell out there, and they would sue and try to get money. Although most of the time when people fall and do stuff, it's their fault. I wasn't supposed to be walking there. I have to take the blame on myself.
No, you know what? I feel like you could argue this like a few different ways. Like, I feel like, yes, like, should you have been walking through that like median / I guess.
Right. There's just not that much parkway, and there's not that way to get through.
In your defense too, like, it was late at night, like you said. It was nighttime at least.
It was nighttime, and it was dark.
And it was dark. There's always that fear of someone's just going to hit you in the parking lot. There's no real like actual designated area for a pedestrian to walk.
And then I'm not the only one that parked there from our dinner party. My aunt and uncle parked over there too.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, be careful. Watch out for those roots. I'm like, I'm the queen of safety. And the main thing in my head was like, I should have a camera. Like, this is like perfect,
you need
like
a body camera
teaching moment to teach people like what happens and how to be safe and how to get up. And I'm just glad I didn't like hit my face or break.
Did you have like your purse with you? And
oh yeah, nothing fell off.
Oh, that's good.
I just bounced. It was like a bungee. Like my knees just bent and I came right up.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's not great.
So nobody would believe it. And I was like, but they were just a little scratched up, but not bad. Yeah. And my pants didn't get holes and my shoes were fine. So
that's very nice. Well, that's unfortunate again, but very. Like,
and only one person saw me.
You walked away decently unscathed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Oh my God. No, and that's not even, unfortunately, all of the crazy of this week
Oh
for
yeah.
you. Oh my gosh.
So then we are in like a shared office building.
Yes.
So it's a office building that has many businesses in it. And so you can rent your rooms and there's all different sizes and you can have multiple offices, you can have one. So in fact, like I think the office I rent is like the size of this room. Maybe a little.
You have like a decently sized.
It's a decently sized office, but it's not that big. It's kind of an
I know what you mean,
angle,
yeah.
and the windows make it look a lot bigger. So I think it's honestly maybe a little bit bigger than this or the same size.
I would, yeah, that's probably.
And it cost about $800 more than my mortgage payment.
Yeah.
So
Commercial space is
to put things
expensive
into
in
perspective,
Orlando,
it's very
yeah,
small,
yeah.
and for what we're getting. So
You're in a very nice area, though.
and it's a nice area.
Yeah.
It's nice. I feel safe in there.
Yeah.
It's secure. It's clean.
It is.
For the most part. So some people feel it's appropriate to just walk into my office. You know, don't knock, or sometimes knock and just push the door open, like somebody's dropping off mail.
Yeah. And you're referring to like strangers, like not like
Strangers,
people within
not
your
people that
office.
work with us,
Yeah,
not people that work
yeah.
with us. Because sometimes we have 4 or 5 people in there working, you know?
Yeah.
And so if they walk, you go to the bathroom, you go get a drink, you get water, get lunch, go to an appointment, come back. Okay, but no, it's not somebody who works with us. It's not even somebody that I even know their first name.
Yeah.
So you walk in, oh, hey, how was your weekend? I'm like, it's Wednesday. I'm like, so I'm like looking at Eddie. I'm like, oh, the weekend was good. This week it's been a nightmare from hell. Excuse my language. And he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So don't come into my office and ask me a question if you don't want to have a conversation with me.
And this man, like unprovoked, just walked
Unprovoked.
in.
And he's not the
Yeah.
first time. And then he did it a couple days ago looking.
What business does he work for?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't have to say that, like the name, but like you don't know even what he does.
I don't know what he does.
That is so
Something
weird.
with buildings. I don't know if he's an
Yeah.
architect,
And
construction,
he just
flooring. I
he
saw like
walks into your office.
so his doors kind of creeped open the other day, like, and I was like, oh, maybe I should go in and say, hey, how was your night?
You
I mean,
should.
I understand being friendly, but you're just walking in, and the thing is I'm dealing with taking people's payments.
It's true.
So I may be reading back a credit card number. I may be giving out loss information. Some of this
Yeah.
stuff is confidential
It is.
information, and
It
you don't
is.
work. You just can't walk in there.
No, it's like there's a lot of liability there.
Yeah,
There's,
and I'm like, who are you? I don't know. I'm not used to that. And then most of the time he's coming in there because the dog, that's the office, the building manager. I'm not going to say office, the building
Yeah.
manager. She has a dog, and he's
very
always
sweet
he's a
dog.
very sweet dog,
Yeah.
and he always hangs out in our office. But you know he's big, and so he
very
likes
big.
to sit like right under your feet. We're like going to trip over him, but he brings in racket balls, and I guess this man that comes into my office frequently bought him the racket balls.
oh my gosh.
He bought some like packages of them. So he
Yeah.
comes in and there would be like 10 of them in our office and he's looking for them. Well, what are you doing with them yourself?
Yeah, like why do you want these?
The
chewed
dog's
on-
in here.
Yeah.
Why
like,
do you need these
let the
balls?
be with the dog? Yeah, he's
I
gonna
mean-
take them around. I mean, and it's funny. I've seen him, the dog.
Carries them.
Yeah, he carries.
He
them
just
out of the
carries
room.
it in his mouth and then he
Yeah.
drops them and then he runs around and
He's all
so
playful and cute.
yeah. So I'm like, get a little basket in your office and keep the balls in there.
Yeah. No, I mean that sounds like
He's not my dog,
respectful,
so
responsible thing to
yeah.
do.
So now he just feels like he can walk in there. And the other lady did it too. So we're just like, okay.
2 strangers in a single
Yeah.
week just walk into your office.
And
That's
then
a
they
lot, that
implemented
is.
a couple days ago. They sent an email, and it was like a office rules. So they made rules for the
Yeah.
office. I guess they've had it. Maybe it was supposed to be included with the lease, and so it's it's all things that like no animals unless it's a service animal. Of course, that dog that's there is a service animal,
It is.
so he can be there.
And he has a license,
And he's-
technically, pinned to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a vest.
He has a
whatever.
license and
Yeah.
a vest. And then, so he's allowed to be there. And then they were giving us a dress code. In my eyes,
Yes,
I'm an adult.
you are.
I'm paying.
You are
I
definitely.
can wear
paying.
what I want.
Yeah.
However, I know what's inappropriate and not because I am
course.
dealing with the public.
Yeah.
And, so, but on Friday, if I want to wear some ripped jeans with a tank top and flip flops, I think I should be able to wear
I
it.
think you should.
It's
yeah.
Friday.
It's Friday.
I've been-
Casual Friday.
Casual Friday.
Yeah.
And we're in Florida, so anything like south, I think like North Carolina and down is like different. So our business casual is a little bit different.
Oh, it is most definitely.
It's not, you know, I don't have a problem. Anybody that works with me can wear whatever they want as long as they're covered up.
Yeah, no, it's true. As long as
they're clean.
Yes,
and they don't smell. I mean, it's simple things.
It's true. I don't know why like that's become such a thing. Like in your office, I know there was an issue like with like, you know, one of your employees like, wearing a certain outfit and then like them being like reprimanded by like
it was a little bit uncomfortable, awkward, and we tried to, you know, well, of course I went a little ballistic.
Yeah, no, you know what, I think you just stood up for your employee, which,
I stood up. It wasn't ballistic, but it was just kind of like inappropriate,
like
you know.
it
was just in the sense, I pay them. They work with me. They work for me. They don't work for you. You know, you don't, I think some people overstep their bounds. That's it. You know, you manage the building, not the businesses within the building.
It's true.
So it's finding that area where people, you know, think where their place is important.
Of course.
And tell you, you know, how to run your business per se.
Yeah. It's just wild to me. Like, I feel like since you've been there, it's been an experience.
Yeah.
Like with the office, the like buildings administration, like they're very interesting people.
Very interesting.
Like, don't they have like, it's like 4:00 wine?
Oh yeah. They're like
a happy hour. Like,
a couple of times they've had it, and they're like with their bare feet sitting around flashing, and you know,
with like just glasses of wine. And like the common areas,
area and the kitchen. And I'm like, oh, there's still like customers coming in here for appointments because there's several businesses in there. There's therapists, it's a whole floor. There's hearing aids, there's insurance, there's mortgage, there's, you know, life insurance.
Psychologist, is there not?
Several psychologists. There's cruise. I mean, there's like a whole vast variety of people and businesses that they own. It's all small businesses that work in there.
Yeah. And then you've got like these people just, you know, sipping wine and like chit-chatting. And
now they're going to do a couple weeks of bourbon tasting.
Are they actually? Was that in an email?
It's in an email and a sign.
Oh my God.
So I hope they have insurance for that.
I hope they have insurance for that. They should hit you up for a policy.
Like an event insurance, you know. I'm not a bourbon person, so I won't be partaking. Plus it's like on a Wednesday, and I either got like an event I'm going to, I got a workout. So I'm like, can't you do that stuff on like a Friday?
Yeah, like a fun Friday.
Yeah, where people don't maybe have to go somewhere after there with their children or whatever, everybody that works there. So
it's a wild place you work in.
It is.
It's fun though.
We got pizza on Friday.
We love pizza.
We love pizza. So Eddie always used to say, if it's a pizza party, somebody's getting fired.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I think he said it was like some TV show or something that happened.
There's a pizza party?
Yeah, we're getting pizzas.
Oh my God. That sounds terrible.
It is.
I've never heard that before.
And they also had salads. It was really good.
Oh, we love a salad. Where did you get your pizza from?
I don't know. It's someplace near the office, but it's really good. They all get like a whole variety of pizza. And then like...
Was it like a mom and pop place?
I think it's like a smaller place, but it's like really good. They had like the Bianca pizza. They had the meat pizza. They had the vegetable pizza, just the cheese, you know, mushroom. So I love mushrooms, but you unfortunately can't have cheese.
I can't have cheese.
So, but you can get the pizza without the cheese. Which is, I know it sounds weird, but it's good.
I do the Blaze all the time.
It's good.
I just get so many extra toppings because they don't charge per topping, and it's fantastic.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Blaze, that sounds good.
Yeah, I know. I'm like thinking about it now. I'm like, oh my God, that actually sounds delicious.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. Is there a Blaze around here?
There's one in Winter Park, and then there may be one near where Chris lives in Waterford.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris is my son, by the way.
Yeah.
But I know
there's
there's
Winter Park is down the street from my house.
Lee Road, so you should go there.
I have to go there. I'm actually thinking about it.
And I met this girl yesterday at this event that I go to. It's a really good organization. It's Help Community Development, and they're nonprofit, and they help people get into home ownership, and they also teach people about, you know, planning their budgets, renting, how important it is to, you know, manage their bills and all of that. It's a really great organization. And one girl that works there, I've been seeing her, and every time I go, because I go like every month, she looks thinner and thinner, and I was like, oh my gosh, you look great. What are you doing? And I expected her to say some type of pill or something, and she's like, I stopped eating meat. She stopped eating beef, chicken, and pork. And
That's wild.
And I'm not a big meat eater. Like, I eat it because I know that I need protein, because they're always like, oh, carbs are bad. But she just supplements with fruits greens. She does smoothies. She does protein powders. And then, so I said, well, what do you eat for lunch? She's like, I'll have like a tuna sandwich. I'm like, well, do you have bread? Oh yeah, I have bread. I have rice. I have macaroni and cheese. I didn't give up cheese and all that. So I was like, I could do that because I like beans. I like bean quesadillas. I like, my salads. I like sandwiches. I mean, I could have tuna sandwich, like all that stuff I like. I'm not a big chicken person. It has to have a bunch of flavorings on it for me to eat it. I'm not
if
just,
it's like a meat.
I'm not just going to cut open a piece of steak. Like if I went somewhere to Ruth Chris, which I've never been, I would probably get like shrimp. I'm just
No, because you're not a beef person.
I'm not a
You're
beef.
not
I'm not a
person.
steak. It just doesn't do it for me. So I was like, oh. So there is life, and you can still have carbs. Thank God.
No, thank God. Oh my God. I don't think I'd want to live without.
What are we
carbs,
going to eat
unfortunately.
if we can't eat carbs?
I don't think it's worth living.
There's no
And
point.
There's no carbs.
No.
It's not. No. But no, you know what? It's before we. So that you had a really crazy week though. You did. Like it was a lot. Like all these things. I feel like it's just.
And then I helped my dad move, and I've lost I've been through
lost,
war.
like,
Not only
4
with the
nails.
moving and like the week with insurance
They
was a
actually look
nightmare.
so crazy.
They look crazy, and I'm like really need my nails done, but it's
so
just
funny
like
when I got here, you told me you're like my nails. I didn't even. You told me they all broke, but I didn't actually.
and
think
I
to
go and
look
I'm
at
so
them.
embarrassed because this has been happening for the past like 3 months when
You're
I go to
literally
see her, and I
missing-
never would do this. I was always on time. They would never break, but I'm just like, this is what's going on with me. I'm a broken mess.
Yeah. I'm a lot like my nails right now. I'm a little broken. Like no.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? Those can be repaired.
They can be repaired.
and you can get a new color.
It's
and
just
it'll be
like anything
fine.
else
The
in
one
life.
hand is perfect. The
Yeah,
left
it's
hand's
always the
perfect.
left because
It's-
you're right-handed. So this is what I was doing,
Yeah.
moving, and we were moving my dad's stuff into his new house, which looks great. So,
Aw.
it's just a
Yeah.
casualty, and then they just pop off like one by one.
Has your dad moved in?
Yeah, he moved in on Thursday.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, and they're getting it all organized, and he's got tons of plants. So that's where we were moving, like the big plants. And he left the buyers for his new house, like a washer and dryer, the fridge, a couple TVs, because he just didn't have place for
Yeah.
it. So I'm like, oh, that's really nice for them.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, because obviously you did lose your mother.
I
like,
did. And
yeah.
it was kind of sad because we went over there and we lived in that house and it's like empty now.
Yeah.
And like Jenny, my sister's like, it's kind of sad. And I'm like, it is. But it's also like a new beginning because he doesn't need that house and it's just to move on. But he didn't move that far from it. So I'm sure he'll go by there every day and drive
Oh
by.
my God, that's so sweet.
I'm sure he will.
Because you guys, you grew up there.
I grew up
right?
there. I lived there
Yeah.
since I was 8. So a
That's
really long time.
insane. That is so wild.
But I'm excited to see what they do with it,
Yeah.
and how much they enjoy it. It has a pool, it has a nice yard, it has a nice porch, screened in deck porch, and they're excited for it. And he also left them that, patio furniture because he
Yeah.
has nowhere to put it. So it's like great for them. So I'm excited to see them and enjoy it. I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy for the new family.
No, of course. And it's just all the growth that's going to come there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I'm happy to hear he's actually finally moved in. It's been a process.
It's been a process. He bought it in August and he was doing renovations to it. And some people let him down. Like the plumbers
really?
didn't show up. They didn't do this
Did
and
they,
that.
did they get away with money or was it?
No,
Okay,
it was
that's
just like time. Like I was like last week, he didn't even have toilets in there. And so I asked him Thursday, I'm like, hey, so you're in there. He's like, I got toilets. And I'm like, and I have internet. I'm like, oh, you're fancy. You
All
got
the
internet and
essentials.
toilets. We don't need
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah. And he's like, I know. He's like, I know, right? I'm doing it.
Good for him.
But-
It's a new chapter.
It's a
in his
new
life.
chapter. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for him. I know, it's a smaller neighborhood. And he said that people are kind of nosy. They're all in your business.
Has he has he been more social with other people since
He's had a
everything?
couple friends
Yeah.
and come over and help him move, and he's been going out with another friend that lost his wife maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
wow. Yeah.
So he wants to plan a couple trips with him. But he's been so busy with the houses,
Yeah.
getting one ready to sell, getting one ready to move in. So he's been busy. So hopefully he gets to relax and enjoy and hang out and, just take some time for himself.
Yeah, I mean he should. This is the time to do it. He's in his 70. He's 70.
77.
77. Fantastic.
Forgive
age.
us.
No.
Yeah, double sevens.
Sorry. No, but this is the time.
It's a time
It's
for
his
him.
time. Yeah, it is. And especially now, with him having a single life, just kind of, I don't know, really finding whatever makes him happy.
Right. And I hope he can enjoy, the rest of his life and not dwell on things that make him sad.
Yeah. No, I hope so. I am very hopeful. And I will say he's remarkably social typically. So I feel like
Yeah,
I'd like to
he
think he'll be
is.
okay.
He's social friendly, and he likes to hang out, and he likes to have a good time. So I'm sure it will continue.
Oh, it sounds like a good time. Magic.
So I've had some crazy incidences this week.
Oh, we love crazy incidences.
I had a client call. I hadn't talked to him in a while, maybe like 3 weeks or something, and which isn't that long, but it's long enough. And he called to ask some questions, and I knew his wife told me, I don't know if he told you what's going on, but he had prostate cancer, and it had come back.
Oh my God, that's
and
so
I think it
terrible.
had spread, and he had some fluid in his lungs and stuff like that. And so when he called, I said, well, how are you doing? He goes, oh, I had a stroke. I'm glad you asked. I'm recovering. And then he says, and I had it when I was buying a thank you card for you. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I was picking out a card for you because, you helped me so much, and I wanted to thank you. And he's like, so I was making sure I got the right one, and I'm reading it. And he's like, my eyes are going in and out, and I can't see. And he said he had a stroke in like the ocular or whatever part of his eye. And he went like blind.
Oh my God.
He's like, so I'll never forget it. I'll never forget you. And I'm like, oh my God.
That is the most bizarre.
Isn't that crazy?
You just told
And
he's
like,
weird story last week,
and I still have the card.
extra.
It was an extra special story. And he's like, and I still have the card.
He's like, is he going to give it to you?
I don't know. He's like, I still have the card and the other gift that I got for you. But he can read now, like his vision came back, and he was going to some.
How old is he?
I want to say he's in his mid 60s, mid to late 60s, maybe. And I said, well, oh my God, that's it's such a horrible story. I'm like, did I already not feel bad enough about myself and my job? But didn't you just rubbed it right in?
No good deed goes unpunished, though. That's what they say for him, at least. Oh my God.
And so I'm like, what the, but I said, well, I'm so sorry. And he's like, oh, I want to make sure you're doing okay. Well, why do you care about me?
Yeah,
you're the one
you just had a stroke.
And you had a stroke. And I said, how's your wife doing? He goes, she's freaked out. And I said, well, let her know I'm thinking about her. So that was an interesting one.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's a lot.
It's just unbelievable.
That's
like you
so
hear that,
wild,
and then I had to.
Your connection to that is so
How
odd.
it
is remarkably.
It's
odd.
remarkable,
Yeah,
and I was like, well, you weren't. At least you can see.
How did he get out of that situation? Did he say?
I guess he just kind of kept blinking his eyes, and then I don't know if his wife was there, and he's like, I can't see.
And he just lost his vision.
And he just lost his vision. But a lot of times if you have a stroke and it's in your eyes and you lose your vision, a lot of times it's momentarily. I don't want to say just for moments, but it comes back.
Okay.
And then if it doesn't come back, obviously, it was a little bit more than just a minor or a split second stroke. Because I feel like the blood gets blocked, going there to your eyes.
Yeah.
It's a strange phenomenon, but I'm glad he's better and he can see.
That's so crazy. I'm happy. I'm happy he got emergency help and is now.
And then he noticed what it was, and he didn't fall or hurt himself in another way.
That's
wild. That was wild. And then another client, she was calling to say hi. She had mailed me this package, and it was. And I finally got it. It was cute, but she's like, "Oh, I was calling to tell you there was a shooting at my house. There's a drug bust."
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, oh.
I need to stop laughing at these horrible
And then she's like, well, I got to go. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then I didn't hear from her again. So I was like, is everything okay over there? And yeah.
Oh my God. That's all she said to you?
Mm-hmm.
Did she ever call you back?
No, but I actually could text her today and let her know I did get her package.
Yeah.
And make sure she's okay at the house. She was actually supposed to be a guest, but I didn't hear from her today, a remote guest.
Yeah, a remote guest.
She's phenomenal, has crazy stories.
I love crazy stories.
Another story was the client was, I think, renovating a house, and she hired a handyman, and he was very good, but he talked too much.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, well, it's okay if they talk. No, he was telling me all about, his sex life. He didn't get it with his wife or whatever, and it turns out his wife had a boyfriend.
Oh.
So the wife had the boyfriend, and then a couple weeks or something went by, and she didn't hear from the guy, the handyman, anymore. So she asked her friend or the contractor who referred him, and he's like, oh, he's on the run for double murder. He shot and killed the wife and her boyfriend.
That is insane.
He either shot or stabbed them. It was something crazy. It's somewhere in Florida.
That's like very Florida man. It is.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, this is all alleged, of course, like, or whatever. I don't know. Like, until proven guilty in court.
It's all alleged, exactly.
And we, of course,
and
we're
the
not
same with
giving
the drug
names.
test. And I'm not giving any names
Yeah.
about anybody, but these are, true stuff that they tell me, and I'm saying, oh boy, I thought I had problems.
Like, actually, that's insane.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
And then my sister, which I can say because it's okay, Jenny, she was on a business trip a couple weeks ago, and Jeff, her fiance, was at her house because he's like basically moved in all the way.
Yeah.
And they kept having water pop up on their wood floor, like water spots.
Yeah.
In random places. And they were like, oh, we got water coming up from the slab. I said, oh, dear God. So it turns out the washing machine was going bad because it's 14 years old.
Oh,
so it's like a teaching moment here. So in the water, he's like, it's got to be the washer, because every time I used it, I find water in there.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of migrated over to like their family room, which is kind of far from the washing machine, but I don't know, maybe the angle it dripped down.
I'm trying to remember her house. Like, I've been there, and I'm just trying to remember in my mind.
And
like,
so
but I
she
know
did, they did decide that it was the washing machine, because he unhooked the hose and tons of water came out. It's coming from the bottom. And that's happened to me here. And then they did have a leak company come out, and where they hear it, they heard it there. And as soon as they shut that off, they didn't hear it. So it made me feel better. It was definitely her washing machine, because it's 14 years old. She got her wearing.
She got like definitely a nice,
most of a long
period of
run
time.
out of
She
that.
did, yeah.
So they're going to look for new ones, because it was on her list.
That's like she just missed like all the Black Friday deals and like that's actually what I bought. Washer and dryer.
And that
over the
happened to me
holidays,
here.
yeah.
I would have water, and it would come from the bottom all the way to the kitchen. So it was kind of more in that same area. So where her water was at was kind of farther. That's kind of made me think maybe it's your washing machine, but maybe not. But if you start seeing water anywhere, check your washing machine, check it, because you could have a major problem, especially if you have wood floors.
Yeah.
She has hardwood, so
And she's
luckily
real wood,
and they've like popped up and bubbled. So
Nice.
she's got the boards to replace
That's
those.
good, yeah.
But, luckily she had it, my dad had it at his house. So she went and took all of whatever he had left, because it's her wood too, just in case.
That's good. Because
you can't find it.
You can't a lot. They really do. They discontinue.
Because they're made like in
all the
lots.
time.
And so like the color, it's the same with tile. Like unless you can find that exact same
like plank or
plank
tile,
made
whatever.
at the same exact
Yeah.
time, you won't be able to find
You
it.
can't match it, and you got to replace the whole floor.
You have to replace the whole floor or refinish it or something like that.
Would that fall under your homeowner's insurance?
If your policy, well, it depends. And now another problem with the water, another client. So he has, in the middle of the rainstorm, he's in Georgia, so it's not even here, in Georgia. A couple weeks ago, that rainy storm that we had here, that winter hurricane, they called it, he had water in his basement. And somehow he has the basement finished, and his bedroom is down there, and there was water coming up in the floor. And so he did have water damage coverage on his policy. So I'm telling him, well, you have water damage coverage. I mean, if was it a pipe burst? I don't know. Okay, so the adjuster is going to have to investigate it. I can't tell you if I'm not there.
Of course.
Well, it turns out it's something with the runoff. So again, it's another maintenance related thing. So back to Jenny, her washing machine, it went bad, it put water. Well, it's kind of a gray area. Like right now, we can't trust, what insurance company is going to say, just because the market is so bad right now. So if her washing machine went bad and it caused water, they may not cover the washing machine because it broke, but they may cover the damage that it caused on her wood floor.
Oh, wow.
So, you don't know. But like with this gentleman, this was, and because hers was considered wear and tear. her washing machine broke.
Yeah.
With this gentleman in Georgia, it was a runoff issue. So the water wasn't being taken from his house. So, we all have, roof line. When the water drips down, when it rains, the water is going like this.
Yeah.
If you don't have like gutter or something to redirect the water away from your house, it could come back in there. So I guess that's what happened with this. It was runoff coming back
into the house,
yeah. Into the basement per se, and it wasn't covered. So he's like, "I'm left holding the bag." He's screaming at me.
It's like, bro, that's
what do I say?
Yeah.
So it's like, there we go with the nails, biting them, because it's extremely stressful when you don't want to be put in a position where, but even if you had the master of all policies, which he had, it's something like that isn't covered. So that's why we always have to maintain our properties. Make sure if you notice something coming down like that, water, I notice it with mine at the front. If we have heavy rain, it'll pool water up there because
in the front of your house,
in the front of my house, and it can flood. And if it got too much during a hurricane, it could start coming in.
That's crazy you say that. Friends of mine actually had that issue during the last 2 hurricanes, and they moved. They don't live in this house anymore, but the water would pull outside and it would seep because it's a 2-story home. It would seep under. There's, I guess I don't know if it was through the foundation or whatever, and it would come into their living room. Oh, and they'd have to like open the front door and like sweep it out. Let it out. So crazy, yeah. It was really bad. That's so wild.
That happened in our office building in Crane's Roost. When it would rain really heavy, the water would come in like door, but it would come in the slab because there was so much coming at the same time, and you have to like push it out.
And this was like a concrete house, dude. That's what's so.
There's like nowhere for it to go, so it's probably coming under the door frames or something like that. It's just coming too much and it's pulling up and it has like nowhere to go. So with this gentleman, he had to make a French drain to get the water to go the other way, which probably should have been done a long time ago.
It sounds like it should.
It's not, and unfortunately, when we own homes, it's like the gift that never keeps giving.
And yes,
you always got something to do. You got to clean it. You got to maintain it. You got to change.
You got to replace something.
Yeah. Your light bulb's going out. Your fan broke. The handle broke. The paint's tripped off the wall. I mean,
it's never done.
It's never done.
It's not ever done. Oh my gosh, that's.
And then another crazy story is my cat. I have 4, and Snowball, the big white one with the cats. 2 different color eyes. Yeah, there's never enough. Never enough. But it's just not enough time to scoop all those litter boxes.
You need to get the electronic.
I need to get it.
So I have it for my cats.
I'm gonna get it for mine because it holds up to 4.
It does,
so I really need it. So Chris, my son, came home last week and he washed clothes. He was only here a couple hours. Well, Snowball he's very sensitive and gets very out of whack when Chris comes home because he knows he's going to leave, and he knows that he's not going to stay here. So he starts like pacing back and forth, his hair standing up on his, and so after he leaves, he's just a little bit out of sorts. And this happened before. He had like an anxiety reaction. Yeah. So we thought he had like a bladder blockage. I know it sounds gross because he kept going to the litter box and he kept going into like laundry baskets and trying to pee in there, and it seemed like nothing was coming out. So the last time I noticed it, of course it happened on a Sunday. I called the online vet and they're like, well, you're going to have to take him to the emergency vet. I hate to tell you this, but his bladder could bust and he could die. And I was saying, oh.
Like if he had a blockage.
If he had a blockage, because she was like, feel his stomach. Do you feel this? And I'm like, yeah, we feel it. And so we rush him to the vet and they're like, he doesn't have a blockage. I'm like, so what was that, just fat? And they were like.
He's just your fat cat.
They gave me a look and he's a little chubby. And I was like, okay.
Can I ask? How much did you spend?
He was like 12 pounds last time.
I know. How much did you spend to go to the?
Oh, I think it was 500.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And they gave him some anti-inflammatory, like anti-inflammatory and like an anxiety medication. And they said what happens is they have like a reaction. So their body, it's like it swells up. Yeah. So, and he's been doing it lately. And so this week, I knew he didn't have a blockage because he peed in the carpet, he peed in the clothes, and we had to clean it. And he was just out of sorts, didn't really want to eat. So we knew he was really upset. So I did get that pheromones, or it's like that feel away that you plug in. I got that yesterday, so I plugged it in. He seemed a little bit calmer, like he actually came up to you.
He did. It was very sweet when I came.
So I hope he's, I was going to take him to the vet today, but I don't know, because I don't want to stress him out. Yeah. He seemed to be okay. He was eating, and he's not peeing. I haven't found urine
Anywhere.
cat.
That's good.
Does it smell like cat pee in here?
No, it does not.
Okay, good.
No,
That's
it's
always
not.
like my fear
Yeah.
with 4 cats. I'm like, somebody walk in
Like,
right
somebody
away,
smell cat piss. Like, literally,
smell
no.
it, you know,
That does
ammonia.
not.
It's
No,
like
no, no.
intoxicating. It could
It,
kill you.
it can be very overpowering. Yes.
I remember, when Chris played high school basketball, and then he played like, travel ball, and we would go into some gyms, and I would be like, it smells like ammonia in here, and my friend would be like, what? I'm like, it smells like ammonia. It's like piss. Like, it was just an overpowering smell of like their sweat.
Yeah.
Like all the teenage
Well, I think
boys.
that's what actually comes out when you like, it's like the urea or whatever. And
Yes,
I'm not a
but it
doctor,
would be
so
so
I could be
strong.
But
And
it
I
comes
was
out
like,
of your
I feel like
pores,
we're going to
it
get
does.
sick in here. Like,
Like,
when they,
smelling this.
yeah, when they had cleaned the litter boxes, sometimes it like takes your breath away.
can,
Or if you go into
yeah.
like a hoarder house that had cats, I was like, oh my God.
You know,
Like,
I'll say this. I recently read there's so many toxic chemicals though in cat litter. I don't know if like it just as a whole, it's really bad for your health. Like just
when you
cat
breathe
litter.
it in, so
When
we
you
should be
breathe it
using
in,
a
we should
mask
be- or we
and
should
gloves.
be using like more natural
Organic.
things. Like like I've heard like I don't know if it's like wood chips or like
Well, they
like-
have newspaper one because
Yeah.
when they got their claws taken out, I know my cat's already clawed
Yeah.
the front. They have these, newspaper clippings that they make into cat litter.
yeah.
It's pretty absorbent. It doesn't really like take away like the smell, but I feel like it's more natural. There's nothing else in it. It's like
Yeah.
coated with some type of like plastic or something. But I could see that.
I just suppose it's really bad for your health. And it's funny, I had no idea until recently. That's like if you're pregnant, did you know you're not supposed to?
You're not supposed to scoop,
Yeah, scoop, yeah.
or because I did it a couple times and I would ask people if they could scoop when they would come over and they're like, I'm pregnant. It says
It's like
on
I
the,
can't do it.
it says it on there. I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
scoop it. But I would just wear gloves and a mask and make sure that I washed my hands right
Yeah.
away. Because I don't know if it's the cat litter, but I think it's their
Yeah.
waste.
It's something along. I mean, it could be both. I really don't know. I just know overall, like you're really not. Just cat litter, unfortunately, is not good for you. It's really wild.
Right. I can imagine because it's dusty.
It is dusty.
And it gets all
like,
over.
and it's literally designed to like hide like two of the most strongest smells, like cat pee and like cat poop. Yeah.
Feces, which smells
Which
disgusting.
is disgusting. Yes. Yeah. That's wild stuff.
Yeah. So as we talk about that, but it is something,
Yeah.
natural. And then another thing that I wanted to talk about is I want to talk about lately. I don't know if you've noticed it, but
Okay.
do people, I know we talked about this on the first episode, how people seem like a little bit uptight. Have you been seeing how they're like still uptight?
Like just people in my life or like people in like the business
Just
sense?
people like in general.
Because I think with the last time we talked, like that specific occasion, it was during the holidays. And we were talking about like that being
How they were just so like chaotic.
Yes, like because you're so stressed out because of the holidays. You know what? I don't know. Like that's actually such a great question. I feel like I'm trying to think the last interaction I had with a stranger, like at like whether it be like me checking out.
Well, I
like,
mean, I could say today and
grocery store or
yesterday.
something.
This happened last time when you were coming over. I was like, I'm going to get him a muffin and orange juice.
I
Okay.
remember this story.
Well, I did it last time. I got you like a
Yeah.
bagel
I remember,
sandwich
yeah.
with no cheese,
Which is so
So
nice.
this
It's
time
so
I
nice.
was like,
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna get a bagel. I mean, a little wrap for me. I'll get him like an orange juice
Yeah.
and muffin because there's no dairy. I don't know what he
Yes.
wants to eat. It's just a little.
No, whatever.
I'm waiting there.
Where were you? Or do you know what I say?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
But it's the same place last time.
I know where you're
And
okay,
it's just
I
like they
know.
couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I wanted to like go back there and just like grab it because they were really struggling
Yeah.
with all like the tickets.
Had you already paid again?
Yes. So I'm gonna have to call up there, but I just feel like, oh my
It might
god,
be time
like
for a formal complaint.
yeah. And I just feel like they had enough people working and they just like couldn't figure it out from
Yeah.
one to the other. So I just feel like people just don't care anymore.
They don't care, and it could specifically just be that location.
Yeah.
That
I
where
think
they
it is
just
because
don't
I go to
care.
other ones and they're like, it's on,
Yeah.
they have a system working and
they're respectable.
So maybe it's like leadership.
that could be it.
I think that's what happens. It's like there's this other particular person that I know and I question his leadership.
At this
At his
specific chain
establishment.
location, yeah.
Well, yeah, at that chain
Yeah.
location, but it's another person that I deal
Oh,
with
okay.
sometimes. I
Yeah.
question his leadership with his staff and being able to
I
keep
think I know you.
and being able to keep employees
Yeah.
and in conversations that I've had
Yeah.
with him and I sometimes
Another business owner. That
another
you
business
know.
owner. I
Yeah.
sometimes feel like cut downs
Yeah.
don't really do it
No, of course.
in my world. like I finally stood up for myself and said, I'm trying to collaborate with you and you're trying to compete with me.
Yeah. And just like, can we give some backstory too? Like, this was a person who you were potentially going to go into business with, do business dealings with.
We'll do business dealings
you know,
with and
like,
move into an
yes,
office and
like
kind
a
of
referral type
referral
system.
basis.
Yes,
We're
yeah.
both do the same thing
Yeah.
per se, even though he probably wouldn't say that, you know,
Yeah.
and a professional standpoint, we do.
Oh, you do. You
We
actually do. Yeah.
And so
and you do better.
no.
Anyway.
No, and I think you,
Yeah.
the only way you can get better is to join with other forces.
That's true.
And I do what you don't do, you do what I don't do, and then that's how you grow and become better
It
as
is.
people. Well,
Yeah.
you know, some people just don't see that. They're too busy trying to like compete and throw things at your face
Like,
and
get ahead
say
themselves.
why they're better.
Yeah.
Well, how much money did you make last month? How much money did you make last year? What?
Which that is like so invasive.
It's
like, that's like not
Okay, I wasn't
That's
expecting
like,
that
yeah.
question, but yeah.
That's why. That's too much.
So when I said, yeah, I'm trying to collaborate with you and you're just trying to compete with me, you know, and
you're like,
no comment.
no, I'm sure there was no comment. Because there's no thought.
There's
like,
no
to
thought.
anything
Like,
saying,
you know,
yeah.
I'm intentional. Like I said, this is what I want to be. What I do, I want to be genuine and intentional. It may not be the best because, hello, no one's perfect.
No one will ever be
And,
perfect.
you know, we all make mistakes because we're humans,
Yeah.
right? I think even probably Jesus made mistakes. We don't even know. Nobody knows.
No one will ever know.
No one knows about
No one
anything. So it's like life's about learning and
is about
growing
learning
and,
and growing.
you know, meeting people and collaborating and lifting people up.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I think that is a really big part of just being a decent human too, is like really, I don't know, just helping others. Like, I don't be the change you want to see in the world. If you think people are like just aggressive and gross and like self-centered, you can't act that way yourself.
Right.
It doesn't.
It doesn't do
change
anything.
No, it doesn't. That's really unfortunate for that person.
It's interesting. So,
Yeah.
like I said, stop the bus.
Stop the bus. Before, I feel like we're approaching our time.
Yeah.
I feel like, do you want to? I feel like, because I only say this because it's so stupid. But when we were in the office, we talked about Eddie, and Eddie was like, "Oh, I got mentioned like 3 times." I don't think we mentioned him at all today.
I mentioned him a couple
Did you
times,
mention-
and
alright.
we are going to get Mr. Eddie.
Eddie has to
Eddie
come
Pacheco,
on, yeah.
you're going to be coming on here.
He is.
So,
gonna be
and
coming.
I have people that want to come on, but they
Yes.
don't want to be shown because
Identified,
maybe
yes.
their careers and their jobs. So I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
We are very fine with that.
But I want people to really come on. So like if you say you're going to do it, I'm big about that. If you say you're going to do something, do it.
Follow through is important.
Follow through. This is about helping other people,
It
you know,
is.
build up their platform too. And it's edited and produced
Yes.
for free. There's no cost to
Not
you.
at
And I
all.
don't, you know, and
Yeah.
we'll tag you, put
We
it on
will.
your pages and
We
do
will.
all that. So it's about promoting other people too.
It
Of
is.
course, and I like to talk. I can pretty much talk about anything.
Very well.
Yeah. Well, I try.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're going to get more organized here because this is produced by a great
Oh, you're-
producer here.
You're sweetie.
So,
thank you.
thank you so much for joining us and listening. The greatest compliment to us would be if you like and share our podcast and subscribe on our socials as well. My social medias are Facebook, Colleen Pacheco, or Secured Insurance Group. My Instagram is Colleen Insurance Lady 22, and we also have a YouTube
Channel as well. Secure
channel,
Insurance Group.
Secured Insurance Group.
Yes.
I don't really go on that.
That's actually where you can find this podcast.
You can find the podcast
the
on
video
there,
version, yeah.
and you can see it. The other podcasts are on Apple and Spotify, or just sound.
Yes, so it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You're also now on Amazon Podcasts.
Oh wow!
Or Amazon Music. You're on. There's like a whole cornucopia of places where
Wow.
we're published. Yes.
So
fun.
my cover art is by Norma Pacheco, who's going to be joining us.
Yes.
We actually created that like 3 to 4 years ago. She created that because that's how long I've been planning it.
Yeah, you manifested.
So we did it, and the music is by Lounge Bar by Guronic.
Yes.
And the podcast, again, is produced by Sean Spazzato.
Yes.
So we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.